Hello everyone, this is Cross. What I'd like to talk to you about today is my Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign. This is journal entry number 9. So, our characters had just finished killing off the Lunar Wraith. They took a long rest, got their spells back and everything. So, this journey has taken some time. It's taken several sessions. I'm not sure exactly how many, but with their objective from leaving Rye Hill to going to Lesage, they still haven't set foot in Lesage. It's been several sessions. And several in-game days have passed. So keeping track of a calendar, assigning so basically what's going on our end is I assign a player to keep track of their calendar, and then I keep track of my own calendar. The reason for that is Roll20. I kind of have a DM calendar that shows me what's going on. If I need to make a note, I just kind of drag a token and make a nameplate for that token. And I don't want the players to see that. So rather than me moving that token around, showing me what day it is, and then moving over and moving that token, I just assign one of the players to do that. And then there's a little check and balance system there in case one of us forgets. So we head into the woods. Now, having things happen from day to day. Now, there's a couple of ways of doing things. The first way being, I think what a lot of DMs do, what a lot of story, and that's staying focused on the task at hand, which is something I will do from time to time. It's it's a toolkit. Don't think that one way is really better than the other. They're both valid, just which one's better for right now. So taking time, okay, both in game and out of game, it's taking us several sessions, kind of emulates the journey, so to speak. The characters are spending days and days and days. We're only spending a few hours, but with it being from session to session, that's kind of making the players feel the journey, so to speak. So we encountered a fog. That we encountered some kind of weird thing going on. This is just an event that happened, and if you notice when we're playing, I will say, okay, you notice this general thing. You notice this fog, and that's what you notice. It's not in your way, okay? It's 50 feet, 100 feet off of your path. To your right, to your left, whatever. Okay, this gives the players choice. Do we want to keep going, or do we want to investigate this thing? Now, I feel that some DMs will more or less take that fog and just put it in the path of your players. Like you're going to encounter this some which way or another. And I've been part of games where that's the feeling. There's no way to avoid this thing. By putting it off the path, if the players go to investigate it, whatever happens is more or less on them. At that point, there's a little bit of understanding from the players at this point, going, we had the choice to just keep going, and we're choosing to investigate everything, and that's fine. In this case, it wasn't really that bad. It could have been, but it wasn't. And they just saw this weird event. It just gives them a little bit of information. The goblins that they encountered, the goblins were actively hunting, so that's why they were kind of thrown into that scenario. But it was a very easy fight for them. And then the the supply drop. So it was asked if this was a villain point. This was not. This is part of what I had in store for Clara's story arc. Um, there's a few rapid fire things that needed to happen pretty quickly to kind of get her character's arc where it needed to be, so that I can kind of let things go for a little bit. So they keep asking about villain point. I spent a villain point. Villain points work anywhere in the world on any story that I'm working on. If I want to twist it, and it could be something that they just haven't encountered yet, but if I want to twist it in a way that's maybe not how I intentionally wanted it to be, but I thought of something a little later that's like, man, that would be kind of worst case scenario. Villain points kind of push the story more towards the worst case scenario. And remember, one of the things that I do, and I've said this several times, is plan the story as if the players don't get involved. Well, the villain point kind of pushes the story in such a negative way that it might now require player intervention to set things right in certain circumstances. And again, this story could be anywhere. It could be in a place that they haven't visited yet. It could be in a place that they have visited. And it could involve someone they have or have not met. There's no telling. But I can tell you, as of this point, they have not encountered the villain point. So we enter the town of Lesage. Now, in designing my cities, what I have tried to do is make at least one thing that is quirky about the town. And that kind of is for Rye Hill, there's this lighthouse that I keep referring to. In Huntington, there was the lake, and Ironton, there's the foundry. So I try to at least involve one thing in the town that is the focal point, so to speak. The thing that I keep mentioning that hopefully will allow the players to help remember the town. In this case, I keep referring to this weird platform. It's a square platform. The town is stacked high. There's these apartment building like structures and everything. The town is packed very tightly, and then all of a sudden there's this platform that's just wide open space. Nobody's using this area. It's completely dead space. So it's just very strange to see, and we'll see if we explore that in the next session. So several techniques here, using traveling as a method of storytelling, not something that is in the way of your group, not trying not to make it a chore to do this traveling. Make it exciting, make it flavorful. They're discovering things, and that's really what you're trying to aim for with this traveling thing. But still keep in mind the pace. Don't slog through this. Don't make them deal with every hour of the day. Push the story forward a few hours. Put a few hours later you notice this. Maybe a few more hours later you notice this. Let them kind of determine what they do and do not want to engage with, and that's just going to help you interact with your players just a little bit better, in my opinion. There's a lot to be said for just allowing your players to do what they want to do, and avoiding that aspect of railroading. Basically you're going to tell the players, okay, you're going to do this, or let's divert you this way just because I that's the story that I want to tell. The players will tell you what stories they do and do not want. And there goes my phone. And in that, you're going to start realizing, okay, they're interested in this type. Maybe if I develop more of these, they'll accept those hooks a little bit more. But anyway, I hope you guys glean at least some sort of information from this. If you have any questions, post in the comments below, and we'll talk to you later.